It was a chilly autumn morning when Emma pushed open the glass door of a small café tucked between two old brick buildings. Her worn-out coat was pulled tight around her, and her hair, still damp from the morning drizzle, stuck slightly to her cheeks. She wasn't there for luxury, nor for a lazy morning coffee. She was there because she needed warmth, something to hold in her hands, something to keep her spirits from falling apart. The bell above the door jingled as she entered, but she barely noticed. Her eyes scanned the menu board behind the counter, her fingers nervously fidgeting with the few coins in her pocket. She was exhausted, having spent the night on a friend's couch again. Life hadn't been kind to her recently. She had lost her job 3 months ago when the company downsized, and since then, finding stable work had been like chasing the wind. As she stepped up to the counter, her heart pounded. She knew what she wanted, a simple black coffee. Nothing fancy, just something to wake her up and help her think straight for the rest of the day. "Good morning," the barista said cheerfully, her apron dusted with coffee grounds. "What can I get for you?" "Just a small coffee, please," Emma replied, forcing a weak smile. "That'll be $2.50, the barista said, tapping on the register. Emma froze. She opened her palm to reveal the coins, barely $1.80. Her stomach churned as she realized she didn't have enough. A flush of embarrassment crept up her neck. She stammered, I thought I had enough. I'm so sorry." The barista's smile faltered, not out of unkindness, but because she was used to this situation. "I'm sorry, miss. Maybe you could get a smaller size or come back later?" Emma's lips trembled as she nodded. "It's okay. I'll just—" She turned away, her eyes stinging as she prepared to leave. Unbeknownst to her, a man sitting by the window had been watching the scene unfold. He was in his mid-30s, dressed in a crisp navy suit, his laptop open in front of him. His name was Daniel Carter, a quiet but sharp entrepreneur who had built his business from scratch. He had been in that cafe every morning for months, preferring its calm atmosphere to the noise of bigger chains. When he saw Emma's face, a strange pang tugged at his chest. He knew that look, the quiet defeat of someone who had been fighting for too long. "Excuse me," Daniel said softly to the barista as Emma reached for the door. "Add a small coffee to my bill, and whatever she wants to eat." The barista's eyes widened for a split second, then she nodded, understanding. "Ma'am?" The barista called out gently. "Wait, your coffee is ready." Emma turned back, confused. I didn't pay." The barista smiled warmly. "Someone else did." Emma's gaze shifted to the man by the window. He was now pretending to focus on his laptop as if nothing had happened. For a moment, Emma hesitated. She felt a mix of gratitude and pride wrestling inside her, but hunger and fatigue won. She whispered a shy thank you and walked over to pick up the coffee, her fingers trembling slightly as she held the warm cup. The aroma hit her senses, grounding her in that moment. She found a small corner table and sat down, taking a slow sip. The heat of the coffee spread through her, almost like a small promise that maybe, just maybe, things could get better. Daniel, meanwhile, kept glancing at her from time to time. Something about her posture, hunched yet composed, spoke of resilience. After a few minutes, he closed his laptop and walked over. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his tone gentle but confident. Emma looked up, startled. "Oh, sure," she said, gesturing to the empty chair. "I'm Daniel," he introduced himself, offering a polite smile. "Emma," she replied quietly. They sat in a brief silence, sipping their coffee. Daniel noticed the slight wear on her coat, the tired lines around her eyes, and the way she kept glancing at the door as if she didn't belong there. "You don't have to thank me," he said after a while. "I've been there too." Emma frowned slightly, surprised. You don't seem like someone who's ever struggled," Daniel chuckled. "Appearances can be deceiving. I once couldn't even afford lunch. Sometimes all it takes is a little kindness to help someone get through the day." Emma looked down at her coffee, her fingers tracing the rim of the cup. "It's been a rough few months," she admitted softly. "Lost my job. Been trying to find something, but—" Her voice trailed off. Daniel leaned forward, intrigued. "What kind of work did you do?" "I was an administrative assistant. Mostly paperwork, scheduling, that sort of thing. I'm decent with computers too, but no one's hiring right now." Daniel tapped his fingers on the table thoughtfully. "Funny thing," he said after a pause. I've actually been looking for someone to help me manage my growing team. We've been swamped with projects. I need someone organized, someone who doesn't give up easily." Emma blinked, unsure if she had heard him right. Are you offering me a job?" He smiled. "I'm offering you an opportunity, if you're willing to give it a shot." For the first time in weeks, Emma felt a spark of hope flicker inside her. She nodded slowly. "I'd be willing." They spent the next hour talking about work, about challenges, about life. Daniel learned that Emma was resourceful and determined despite her circumstances. Emma discovered that Daniel's success hadn't come easily either. He had faced his own failures and setbacks. When they finally stood to leave, the rain had stopped and a soft light filtered through the clouds. Emma stepped outside feeling lighter than she had in months. It wasn't just the job offer, it was the realization that kindness still existed, that sometimes strangers could change the course of your life. Over the next few weeks, Emma started working at Daniel's company. It wasn't glamorous at first. Long hours, lots of catching up. But she was grateful for every moment. Slowly, she rebuilt her confidence. She found her rhythm again. Daniel, on the other hand, was constantly impressed by her dedication. He often thought back to that morning at the café, the way she had almost walked away without coffee, the quiet strength in her eyes. He realized that what had drawn him to her wasn't pity, but respect. Months passed, and Emma became an indispensable part of the team. The company thrived, and so did she. On the anniversary of her first day at work, Daniel invited her back to the same cafe. "This place has a bit of magic, don't you think?" he said with a smile as they sat by the window. Emma laughed softly. "I'll never forget this cafe. It's where everything changed." They clinked their coffee cups together in a silent toast, to new beginnings, to second chances, and to the power of a small act of kindness. Emma often thought about that morning when she couldn't even pay for coffee. It wasn't just about the drink. It was about dignity, hope, and humanity. She realized that sometimes the most profound changes in life start with the simplest gestures. And as for Daniel, he learned that success wasn't just about numbers and growth charts. It was about people, about seeing potential where others might see struggle, and about extending a hand when someone needs it most. The cafe continued to serve its regulars, unaware of the story that had unfolded there, of a girl who came in with nothing but a handful of coins and left with a chance at a new life, thanks to the quiet generosity of a stranger who believed in her when she had almost stopped believing in herself.